Before we bring Mitch up for his remarks, let's take one more look back at some of the many memorable highlights of the last quarter century for UK athletics.
Athletic director for the University of Kentucky and his family, Mitch Barnhart.
We'll compete for championships in all sports, not just football, not just basketball, not just women's basketball. We want to have a broad-based program that can compete up and down the line in all sports.
The pitch. Swung out and missed, and the Cats have won the SEC championship.
The Kentucky Wildcats are champions of the Southeastern Conference.
It's called the Catskies.
Sydney McLaughlin is unreal.
University of Kentucky Wildcats.
College basketball's national championship trophy is coming home to Kentucky.
Out of system for the championship.
Just a few quick notes. Mitch Barnhart is a member of the State of Kentucky Sports Hall of Fame. He chaired the NCAA Men's Basketball Selection Committee and is one of only 4 people to have been the chair of the Basketball Committee and to serve on the Football Playoff Committee. He is the dean of both SEC athletic directors and sitting Power 4 athletic directors. A 2015 Division I Athletic Director of the Year by NACDA and the 2019 Division I Athletic Director of the Year by Sports Business Journal. Without further ado, please welcome to the stage, Mitch Barnhart.
Thank you, Tom. Appreciate it. Let me get settled here, and then we'll get going. The guy in that video looked a lot younger. A lot younger. No, I appreciate it. It's an honor to have all of you. With a great start. Okay. Don't look at your wife at these things. You know better. It's an honor to have everybody here today. I appreciate y'all coming, so settle in. I got a couple things I'm going to say. Overwhelmed by the calls and the text. I have not gotten to all of them. I apologize. I will get to them. It'll take some time. Work my way through it. I get rid of, I say get rid of. I get 20 or 30 responded to and 20 or 30 pop up, and I think that is a testament to this enterprise of what we do in college athletics. It is about relationships, and it is about special, special people. I mean, you've been in it 4.5 decades like I have been. Those relationships are incredibly, incredibly beautiful, and I'm thankful for that. You always hear the phrase, you want to enter humbly and exit well. I'm not sure that I've always embodied that incredibly well, but I've tried to enter humbly, and I want to exit well today, and so that's the goal of what we did today. I met with Bob Russell and John Weiss, 2 incredible leaders in our Commonwealth, and had an opportunity to visit with them over a period of time, and they had 2 of obviously the biggest churches in the state of Kentucky and nationally. And they both transitioned in these very, very difficult times and had an opportunity to give me some advice. They said, number 1, always make sure your family's aligned. Make sure your family's aligned. And the second thing, always know what's next. And those are 2 questions that really were difficult for all of us who love college athletics and we love this place with all of our heart. It's very, very difficult to say, hey, we're all aligned and this is the right thing to do at the right time for us. It was very difficult. And the other piece was, what was next? I never had a piece about what was next. And that was difficult as well. I've seen a lot of folks say, we're going to go do this and we're going to go do that, and it just didn't make sense to me. And so there was a process involved in all of that. Dr. Todd, who is sitting over here, and I'll come back to him in just a little bit, always told me, he says, take care of your people first. He goes, and the right results will follow. He says, take care of your people first, and the right results will follow. And I tried to always keep that in the back of my brain. He told me a lot of things when I first came here because I wasn't a great listener. And so he had to remind me on multiple occasions of some of the things that he needed to tell me. So I'm certainly thankful for that. We're not always perfect. We not always got the people part right. For the most part, we did in this room. There's so many really amazing people that we got it right on more than our share. And I'm thankful for the people in this room and what they've meant to us. I'm going to start really quickly. I'm going to just start with 29 years as an athletic director and 24 here at Kentucky. I've been in college athletics for 44 years. The three words that always were heart and soul to me was to teach, to mentor, and to grow. And that was really important. I wanted to teach, mentor, and grow young people and young coaches. And that was how I wanted to come into this business and stay. And we came to Kentucky for a while. We were going to be here a bit in my mind, and we were going to jump to the next gig. And, it'd be here 6, 8, 10 years, and then move on to something else. Well, we came for a while, and we stayed for a lifetime because we love the place. It means that much. It's one of the greatest places on earth, and I don't think people understand how special it is until you've lived it and you've been around it. All right, I've been fortunate. I've been an AD for 29 years, and I've only had 3 presidents, only 2 here at the University of Kentucky, which is a remarkable, remarkable record. When you look around our league, you look around nationally. I'm so blessed to have been hired by Lee Todd and to have worked for him for 10 years. And I'll never forget the day he walked to my house and told me he was stepping down and as the president. And that was a haunting moment for me. And one of those I thought, oh boy, what's next? And then I've been blessed. I have an Eli Capilouto for the last 14 years. And so to only have 2 presidents in this conference, in this league, is a remarkable bit of leadership at the highest level of higher education as well as our state. This has been a labor of love for my wife and our family. We love it as with all journey, there's mountain highs and there's valleys low. And we've had our share of both, but obviously many more mountain highs than valleys low. And so I think if we hadn't done that, they wouldn't let us stick around all the time. So that's been good. The video we use to capture the Commonwealth we use before our games, many of you see it. We run it every game, and it's about from eastern Kentucky to western Kentucky. It's about the beauty it brings, and I think it's beautiful. The state is so beautiful on so many fronts. And then the horses and the mountains, the fields, and mostly the people. We've fallen in love with the people of this state, and we're thankful that they've embraced us for the last 2.5 decades. All brought together by, as Coach Pope would say, the sacred piece of cloth. And I don't ever really knew that I understood what it meant for the people of this state and how much it meant to the people of this state when I first came here. I got it now. I know that the emotions and the heartbeat of this state runs through this program and through this university. And so we have a great responsibility to that, and I think it's really important. What we also wanted to make sure, and Dr. Todd was so clear from the very beginning, he said every young person matters. And you're going to hear that word a lot today, is the word matters. It matters. Championships mattered. Degrees mattered. Pathways for lives, they mattered. And he wanted to make sure that we were doing that with purpose. So I'm going to transition a little bit to what I would call, it's going to be a mess. What I would call the greatest ascent. So if you're familiar, and my climbing buddy, Dion, where's Dion? He's back up there somewhere, is my guy. Dion and I have been on some of the highest mountains in the world. And I've loved mountain climbing, and people know that. Had an opportunity to scale Rainier a couple times, Mount Rainier out in Washington, Kilimanjaro in Africa, and we've had an opportunity to be on the top of the Grand Teton. Mountain climbing is a unique deal. They all look beautiful from a distance, right? They all look great from a distance. More daunting as you get in the middle of them and you get on the mountain. Requires preparation, attention to detail. The greatest ascent is the journey for me, is serving as athletic director at the University of Kentucky. And that's really been the greatest mountain to climb. A climb is not done solo. At least the meaningful ones are not done solo, and this climb was not done solo in any way, shape, or form. And it always starts with people at base camp. The people at base camp to prepare you and get you ready to go is where it starts. Your preparation, your safety, and your return is base camp. For us, our base camp is family, and it starts with my family, and they're down here on the front row. The place I'll return to after hard days. It's the ones who carried the scars of unseen costs of leadership, the ones who made it possible before it ever started. It is the base camp with our family. I saw with incredible gratitude God's provision and protection for our family at base camp every day. The call to lead always affects those closest to you first, always. And that was no different from what it did for our family. Base camp was where we started. The rope team, climbers on the rope team are roped together. If one falls, they all feel it. They all feel it. My rope team is coaches and staff, and many of them are here today, and I'm thankful for that. I've had a lot of my staff and coaches for a long time. And that's a tribute to you all as a place at the University of Kentucky. It's a tribute to them and their heartbeat for this place and how much it means to them. It is a group that worked together for shared risk. You don't get into these jobs without shared risk. It is hard. They put their necks on the line in a very unique way, public way, in the arena, for whatever that means. Shared risk, shared pressure. There's pressure. I don't care what sport you're in. Everybody wants to make the most of a couple sports. They have pressure. Shared scrutiny. The scrutiny's real. It is real. And they share that together in the room as head coaches or in the room as staff, and the things that be put on public display. That's shared, and it's hard. Teddy Roosevelt wrote the things, my favorite piece of poetry, whatever you want to call it. It's called In the Arena. We've all seen it. We've had it up in the hallways around here. I keep it on my desk and a piece on my desk. In the arena. It is the man or the woman in the arena that is most affected by what goes on a daily basis. It's easy to poke at the folks that are in the arena, isn't it? It really is. But those folks that are in the arena and they're living it, it's a different deal. It is a different deal. Culture is built through trust. It is built through trust. Excellence requires mutual accountability. Teaching and guiding and leading through hearts and actions, not be words or in the shadows. It has to be public. And you have to do that the right way. To teach and guide and lead is really, really hard. It is your heart and your actions that matter. They matter. I want to say thank you to a collection of the greatest staff and coaches in the country and the greatest in this department's ever seen in the history of the program. So my absolute thanks to all of you for what you do to represent Kentucky and the way you've handled the platform that we've been given in the arena. The mountain is the reason for the climb. They always ask climbers, hey, why'd you climb the mountain? And the reply from a couple of them that climbed Everest, well, it's there. It was there. I climbed it because it was there. No climber ascends just to conquer terrain. Climb for meaning, growth, and perspective is what they do. That's why they climb. Student athletes, a few of them are here. Thanks for coming. Coach made you come, didn't he? Thanks for coming. You're the reason for the climb. Climb matters. They all matter. They all matter. Their growth, their fight, their resilience, their character, their sacrifice, their hearts, their minds, their lives define success. Wins mattered, people mattered more. Our 5 principles, and I'm going to hit them, and I could ask one of the volleyball players, stand up and give me the 5 principles. I'll bet they could get 3 or 4 of them. Asia's looking to the ground like, don't call on me, don't call on me. Integrity of the character of the heart, integrity of the brain. Great stewards, knowledge, education, be great stewards of what you've been given, and compete with all your heart. Let the wins and losses fall where they may. We do those 5 things in order, we'll do unbelievable things, and we have. And they've been the heartbeat of what we've done. And we go to that, and they will tell you, team meetings every time. We start with that, and we finish with that every year. To our student athletes, we always challenged you, always love you. I want you to know that. The guides and the map makers, university leadership, climbers all rely on guides and maps, wisdom beyond ourselves. I've had 3 presidents in 29 years as an AD. The toughest president I ever had was a guy named Paul Risser. Had his arm amputated on a Thursday or Friday and was at football practice 2 days later. Tough man. Tough man. His wife, Les, and Paul passed away, but one of the toughest men I've ever been around in my life. He taught me toughness in the leadership role. Not just mental toughness, but physical toughness of what it meant to be tough. Lee Todd, unbelievable. He taught me how it was to get through adversity, because we inherited some rough times, Coach, didn't we? It was not easy. And he put up with some things early on that we were having some learning curves as being an athletic director. Mark remembers, I was really good. One of the original 5, Mark had he had some thoughts about how I started. And we're still friends. It's hard. Lee and Patsy, thank you. Appreciate it. You've been blessings to us. And Eli and Mary Lynn, so I'm thankful for them for 14 years of stability in leading our university. And we are just very fortunate to have stability in the leadership roles. And as I look around the landscape, it's so difficult to do that in today's world. The Board of Trustees, Britt Brockman, just has been a leader in our trustee room for so long. And amazing donors and folks that have supported our program are here today, and I thank you for just being the guides and the map makers for us as we try to get through this journey. You provided us trust and alignment. You gave us room to lead with conviction, and when we got it wrong or we got it off course, you helped us. You didn't throw us to the wolves, and it would have been real easy to throw us to the wolves, and boy, I know we haven't gotten it right sometimes. We're reminded of that on a fairly regular basis in the new world of blogs and clicks and all that stuff. We get told that a lot. But at the end of the day, you helped us, and that means a lot. You get us back on our path. You didn't turn your back on us, and you didn't quit on us. As Lee Todd said, when in doubt, Mitch, work. Go back to work. And I did. I remember sitting in Maxwell Place over there one night, and it wasn't a good night. It was a dark night. And that was his advice. Man, quit worrying about stuff. Just go work. Just go to work. And he did. That's how he built his companies and how he did what he did. And so successfully. I was appreciative of that. I'm thankful to the people who have had the courage to work through tough times and conversations, walking together on the path up the mountain. Blessed by that at Kentucky for 24 years, I know that will be the heart as we climb forward and we keep going. The mountain range, the SEC, no peak stands above its own, stands alone. It exists with a range that shapes its difficulty. The beauty of it is amazing, and so it is with the SEC. Southeastern Conference sharpens standards. It forces to constantly grow. You can't stand still. Will Stein, I see Will over here. Will said, man, you got to adapt and grow. And we have to adapt and grow if we want to be successful in this league. It elevates competition and excellence, forces us to think that way. Iron sharpens iron, as the Proverbs say. Greatness is forged in the challenge. And I'm thankful for the great friendships of our league. I had the unbelievable blessing to work with Mike Sly before he passed away. But then I've had the unbelievable honor to have Greg Sankey be a dear, dear friend of mine for 22 years, and his wife Kathy, and Charlie Hussey in the Southeastern Conference, who I work so closely with on a lot of fronts, and his wife Lindsay. Amazing friends, and man, what a journey it's been with them, and to be able to be in that leadership room with those folks has been a blessing. Having worked with them for all of the years, I'm thankful for all they do. I don't think everybody understands how hard the job they have to keep 16 very, very low ego institutions happy. It's just so easy. Then there's the weather and the wind. When you're climbing, you deal with the weather and the wind, and that's the BBN. The weather can be beautiful, it can be unpredictable, or it can be brutal. It can be all of the above, and that's the beauty of the BBN. It always reminds you that the climb matters. It matters to them. That's why they care so much, and that's why they're also the best fans. They bring passion, they bring energy, they bring accountability. Understand all of that. They made the climb visible and real and meaningful. It mattered to them, therefore it must matter to us. It must. They cared deeply because they believed deeply. No one better than the BBN. Everywhere we go, border to border, all over the place. Coast to coast, international, not a day goes by where someone will walk up and say, I'm a Wildcat. Can I take a picture? Can I talk to you about the cats? It's awesome stuff. BBN's incredible. I'm thankful. The summit, when you get to the top, it's faith without apology. I have no apology for my faith at all in any way, shape, or form. I'm not doing that. Climbers don't boast, they reflect. Strength is borrowed, not owned. Your perspective is a gift. Every climb in life, athletics teaches humility. It teaches humility. Micah 6:8 is my favorite verse. It says, He has shown you, O man, what is good, and what does the Lord require of you? To act justly, love mercy, grace, a little bit of grace, and to walk humbly with your God. Every climb brings a humility. Either you have it or you will find it. I believe every good climb, every good gift, and every opportunity to lead comes from God. And I've seen His goodness through people at every step of this journey. Every step of this journey. His provision, His protection have guided us, and I'm thankful for that. Without it, no chance we make it 24 years. It is His provision for us and His protection of our family and the prayers that people have prayed over our family for years. So I'm thankful for that. The final descent. You're up the top, now it's time to head down. Strong leaders don't end at the summit. They never do. They look outward and they look downward. More to do, more to teach, more to mentor, more to grow, leaders to find, leaders to plant, and leaders to support. I'm not done. It has to matter. The climb matters. It matters. To those ascending, climbing, keep going. When we climbed Keeley, there's an old phrase. Was it Dion? Poli, poli, poli. Slowly, 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 one step at a time. Just keep climbing. That's all we did. About died, but we made it. Thank goodness we made it down. Poli, poli, poli. Just keep going. For my staff, unbelievable. If I started, I would leave somebody out. I'd hurt somebody's feelings, or I'd mess something up. So I'm going to say you're the best. My executive team, incredible senior staff, every person that puts on events around here, the hours they put in, incredible. Absolutely incredible. To my executive assistant, Shelley, I don't know where Shelley is. I'm not going to look at her either. I'm not sure you understand. Everybody says she's a gatekeeper, right? She's the gatekeeper. Do you understand how many emails, how many wonderful voicemails, how many fabulous text messages she has gotten from some really pleasant people with language that is so beautiful, not toxic, no venom. When you're on the men's basketball committee and you leave a cross-state rival out of the tournament and they think it's your fault. Or the CFP doesn't quite go a school's way and it gets a little dicey, like a lot dicey. Or just maybe you didn't win enough games in the last 2 or 3 weeks and it gets a little interesting. She takes it and listens and has to wash it from her memory and then move on to the next deal. You talk about being on the front line, stinking hard. Sometimes I don't ever even hear it. Don't ever see it. I'm thankful for that. So Shell, I don't know where you are, but thank you, Shelley. Appreciate you. Then I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the tall man, Doug Dickey. Most of you don't know, I was at SMU, 1986. Our program sort of had some problems. The media's laughing. Most of you youngsters don't even know what happened. I was probably without a career. The whole thing was shutting down. NCAA was shutting it down. And this tall old football coach at Tennessee took a chance on a young guy that was just trying to salvage his career. And if it wasn't for him, I'm not sitting here today. I owe Doug Dickey almost everything. So Doug, hope you hear this. Love you. Thank you. You're the best. And I lived with that guy was awesome for 12 years. And he taught me everything. And for all of us that ever knew him and worked for him, never blinked. He never blinked. Learned that from him. Probably blinked a couple times, but not like him. Out of that group, a bunch of folks had an opportunity to go lead programs. To my man on the West Coast, Bobby DeCarolis, Bobby D, was my deputy at Oregon State. And boy, we fought some battles, and we did some stuff. Financially, not easy. He was the best. So I love him. The late Mike Hamilton was my assistant at Tennessee. And Mike passed away a couple years back. AD at Tennessee for a while. Rob Mullins, Mark Coyle, Scott Strickland, Dwayne Peavy, Greg Byrne, Kevin Saul, John Cohen, all cut their teeth here. They're all my guys. And I'm so proud of them, man, all of them. What they have accomplished and what they've done and how they've represented themselves. Those are the leaders we're trying to build and we're trying to grow. Super, super important. A couple more things. My family, this is where base camp, we got down off the mountain, we're back to base camp. Kirby and Mac, Cooper, Reese, Gunner. Blair and Andrew, Teddy and Ben. Teddy's getting a snack, man. I like that. What's up, buddy? Scott and Cass. Scott and Cassie Riley, Brooks and Ella. Everybody's eating. My brother Eric, who's in Norman, Oklahoma, he was in this business for a long time, and man, if he's watching, know how much I love you, man. You're amazing. And then my partner for 44 years. Not enough words. I could start with sacrificial, integrity, caring, loving, tough, respecting, wife, mom, grand, friend, Bible mentor, life mentor to young women. She owns a quadruple platinum Hallmark card membership. Most of you have been on the receiving ends of her cards somewhere along the way. Never get that money back. She goes to all the games when I'm not even around. Unbelievable home she creates for me to come home to. Amazing, amazing woman. So thank you for 44 great years. More to do. I'd be remiss if I didn't thank, in really a difficult way, our moms and dads. Connie lost her mom when she was 10. I lost my dad when I was 11. Our parents that remained, her dad, my mom, raised us by themselves in a time when that wasn't the coolest thing to do. It was hard. And we weren't blessed with all the resources, but they made it work, and they allowed us to have two things, love and education, man, and they made sure that we had enough. So I'm super thankful for that. My mom died at 87 years old, still working a job, still ran a food pantry, was trying to be on the city council. Yeah, it was funny. My stepdad, still living at 97, just quit his job 6 months ago. Let that sink in. He's still working. We sort of come from a family of work. They taught us how to work. Connie's dad was a farmer, and he worked. So that's in our DNA. We started both working jobs when we were 11 years old. So that's what we know. We will continue to work. With that, I'll probably stop for just a minute, take a breath and a drink, take a few questions. And if I don't like them, no, I'm just kidding. But we'll do that, and then we'll try and wrap this up.